All right, Andy, who is next? Whose questions am I getting next? That's a problem. Needs to be like 800x then the details. Dude, don't challenge him. He'll fucking say that. Olgrim, how you doing, bro?
Acco, what's going on, man? Good to hear from you.
Very good to have you here, brother. What is your question?
So it's less of a question, more of like lore speculation.
All right.
So obviously we know that there is the letter that Kalia gives to Alliance players in the Forsaken questline about Gilneas possibly going back into the hands of the Alliance. So I kind of I was kind of thinking about it, about where could it possibly be that the thread of the Crown of Light brings only darkness?
Mm-hmm.
Could we be seeing eventually that Gilneas is used as kind of like a stronghold or a safe haven where maybe the void or whatever that darkness might be could come forth, and like with Turalyon being on the throne, and we could possibly get like a siege of Stormwind type situation in the future?
All right. Why are you asking questions where I have videos planned for it, bro? Fuck you, man. Asking me to spoil my own videos
it's
here.
not my fault.
No, all right, so...
Great minds think alike.
Dude, the funniest thing is the video was already recorded that will answer a lot of this question. Not all of it, because the video scope is actually a little bit different, but the video is already recorded. It's uploaded, and then today we found out that there's no sound on the video. For some reason, my mic wasn't working, so I have to re-record the entire fucking video.
You have to go back and edit some of this in, that's why.
Yeah, sadly I can't even say, well, just wait till tomorrow. The answer will be provided tomorrow because I'm only recording the video tomorrow. But anyways, okay, or re-recording the video tomorrow. All right, so when it comes to the light, the Crown of Light brings only darkness. I'm not entirely sure how much that will have to do with Gilneas. If we're talking light in World of Warcraft, specifically on Azeroth, minds have to go towards Lordaeron, right? It's for some reason it's such an old part of the lore, and so many people don't know this. But Lordaeron is literally the kingdom of light. The people of Lordaeron revered the light. The rulers of Lordaeron in all of their history have always been priests and paladins. This is literally, it is the most light-bound kingdom on Azeroth. And that kingdom used to be the capital of the Alliance. It used to be the human capital. Of course, it is now run by the Forsaken. It belongs to the Forsaken. Now, there's a part of me that wonders how someone like Turalyons feels about that. You know, how does someone like Turalyons feel about the Kingdom of Light sitting in the hands of the Forsaken? You know, creatures that we know the light does not approve of. Outside of Kalia Menethil, which we still don't quite understand how Kalia Menethil came to be, right? Because technically Kalia Menethil is a creature of light, but still Forsaken. So technically there is some questions around that. But if you look at the Scarlet Crusade, they despise the Forsaken, and they despise the fact that the Forsaken have Lordaeron. The Scarlet Crusade have been poised to make a comeback in World of Warcraft for a really long time. Now, years were... Sorry?
I said I'm excited about that if they choose to go
down
that path.
But here's where things get really fucking juicy. Anduin is currently inside the mall, right? Yep. He's just sort of chilling there. He doesn't have dailies. He's already finished his. He's now just sort of hanging. The last time we saw Anduin, he was trying to figure himself out. But there's something that a lot of people missed about the last time we saw Anduin, which is Anduin isn't sure whether or not he can summon the light. He's doubting himself. He doesn't believe that the light will answer if he calls. Yeah. Now, in Shadows Rising, right at the end of the book, we're told that there is void within Anduin. Anduin doesn't quite know it, but there is void inside of him. If you are a priest, right, with void inside of you, but you're afraid of the light, you're ashamed of what you had done, is it not conceivable that you would turn to the void as a form of magic because you don't believe that the void would judge you as harshly? Right?
Interesting.
So Anduin comes back, void priest. He's gone completely void. Not evil, void. Illyria is void, and she's not evil at all. Right? So Anduin is now, he's embraced the void. What does Turalyon do? Do we truly believe that Turalyon will hand over the throne of Stormwind to a void, quote-unquote, corrupted Anduin?
I mean, that's tough, because I'm not sure if we could hope that he has a soft heart for someone in that position because of his wife, because of Illyria, but
from what I've been able to gather, he accepts Illyria in spite of her void corruption, right? And only insofar as Illyria has proven that she has not been corrupted yet by the void. When it comes to Anduin, Anduin is far younger, far more inexperienced. If Anduin returns with fucking void all around him, the light within Turalyons will immediately react, right? And Turalyons will most likely not give himself a moment to pause. Turalyons will most likely not be, wait a second, Anduin, let's play 20 questions here, let me just make sure that you're on the up and up, right? He's immediately going to draw his blade and be like, step away from us. Why? Because in his mind, Anduin was corrupted while serving Zuval. Mm-hmm. So Anduin is still corrupted. Anduin is still not himself. This leads to Turalyon making an exit, right? Either pushing Anduin out or making an exit himself. What would be prophetic as fuck is if Turalyons chases Anduin out of Stormwind. Anduin then heads to Lordaeron, which is the only other place that, he can sort of go. It's the last human kingdom. Well, technically human kingdom. Because he knows Kalia is there, right? Anduin then builds up forces around Lordaeron in order to retake Stormwind from Turalyons. Turalyons, doing all of this, is becoming more and more like Yrel. Mm-hmm. In Alternative Draenor, which we know what the light looks like when it becomes fucking nuts, right? And that is what triggers the civil war within the Alliance, which I've been waiting for so long.
Yeah, I think that's also that would be a really cool kind of follow-up where it's not just him going to Lordaeron because it's the city or the kingdom of light, but in a way maybe he also sees where it's like he's come to terms with Sylvanas and kind of had the whole conversation, and he can be like, well, you're still in the Maw doing dailies, I'll also help you look over your people, Kalia there and everything. So, and I think that would be a really interesting comparison of Turalyons and Illyria being light and void versus Kalia and Anduin.
Yeah. The question becomes, what about the Night Elves? Who do the Night Elves join?
Oh, no.
Because there is a good chance that Anduin, because I don't know if you guys, in the cinematic between Anduin and Sylvanas, they almost seemed like friends. The way Anduin and Sylvanas were talking, they did not hate each other. They weren't. Anduin wasn't angry at her. She is not angry at Anduin. They almost appear to be kindred spirits, not friends, but kindred spirits. They had both gone through something, and they are sort of, they understand what the other went through, and so I can very easily see Tyrande joining up with Turalyon. Because Tyrande will also not trust Void Anduin. I don't think so. Especially Malfurion's influence there, with the Nightmare and what the Nightmare is doing to the Emerald Dream. There's almost zero chance that Malfurion will follow. Velen will probably join with Anduin. Anduin might be the one to reach out to Sylvanas within the Maw and be like, we need you to help. We need your help here. We're facing a deadly enemy, and we could use your help in taking them down, which would be the way to reintroduce Sylvanas into the story, but as a backup character. So not as a lead, more just someone in the background. But I can see all of this sort of playing out probably after Dragonflight, most likely even after the next one, So probably going to be a couple of expansions before we get to that side of the story. But they have to do something for the Alliance. They have to. The Horde has had how many fucking civil wars now? And we've fought how many things, and the Alliance have had to react to the Horde how many times? What this war will do, if Blizzard does it well, what this war does is it completely eradicates the difference between Horde and Alliance. Because this time around, the Horde isn't helping the Alliance to fight a tyrant because the tyrant is threatening to kill Azeroth. The Horde is helping the rightful king of Stormwind to retake his throne.
Yeah.
So at that point, what's the difference between Horde and Alliance?
True. I mean, also, do you think that, speaking of Yrel again, do you think that Tyralyon might find a way to reach out to her and kind of use her fanaticism?
Oh, I think she's going to be reaching out to him. The light is connected everywhere, right? The light is connected. True. So when the light finds out that Anduin have been void corrupted, the light is almost definitely going to reach out to Yrel and be like, hey, we need help here. Azeroth is about to fall to the void. Send your armies. And then we get the army of light in all their fucking glory. Because there's still that message, right? There's still the vision that Velen had of Anduin in his old age, part of the army of the light. The only way Anduin can be part of the army of the light is if the army of the light changes their tune. The army of the light has to become far less fanatic than what they are now if Anduin is going to join them. And the only way that's going to happen is if the army of light suffers a crushing defeat. And the way that should happen is at the hands of the Horde and the Alliance standing against the army of the light and basically knocking them into submission. And then, new Azeroth with the army of the light now under the control of Anduin would be, I think, a really cool story,
Yeah, I agree. And also, at the same time, that storyline would still keep us in an Azeroth, contained expansion, which would be great.
Oh, yeah.
Zone.
I want the next 3 expansions to be completely Azeroth-based. I don't want to leave Azeroth again for at least the next 4 to 6 years. Because I feel like we've spent so much time dealing with outside forces and outside cosmic powers and stuff that Azeroth has almost become an afterthought. It's no longer, even nowadays with how leveling works, you don't really spend any time on Azeroth, because the leveling will take you to Shadowlands or to BFA, which is like a brand new part of Azeroth, but not really, it's not old school WoW. So I'm looking forward to that old school WoW feeling again. That's what I'm looking forward to.